guys, I finally got around to installing fire protection in the shed, and today we're going to go over what I've installed and how it all works. We'll start over here. This is pretty much the heart of the unit. This is where everything comes in. So up the top here we have an amplifier. This is a remote amplifier which is controlled by this module. So essentially this whole box is just for the amplifier. So what happens is you've got a power supply here that's supervised. If the power goes out for more than an hour, it sends a defect to the panel. If the batteries are disconnected or fail the load test, it sends a defect to the panel. And if the end line gets taken out of this amplifier, it also sends a defect to the panel. And that unit here is in charge of doing that. So this is a monitored relay module. It triggers the alarms as well as monitoring them. Down here we have a loop responder, and the loop responder is just for this linear heat cable here. The linear heat cable runs all the way along the shed, all the way along, and then goes into an end-of-line box up here. I've also installed a reed switch on the other side of this box, so I can test it with a magnet instead of having to open up the box. Coming along here, I've got two smoke detectors on each side of the shed, in the main area that is. So we've got two down that side. Over here, we've got another two. And in here, we've got an A series. I'm not sure if I can turn the light on, I don't think I can, but it gives you a pretty good idea there. And again, in this room here. So, I'll briefly go over how this is set up. This is set up as like a type 5, which means when one of these smoke detectors is triggered, the system goes into alert in this shed only. So my sleep outs and the house are not affected. This shed goes into alert only. If another smoke detector goes off within 30 seconds, it starts the evacuation process. If not, it automatically resets the system back to normal. I know that's hard to follow, probably, but it's quite a bit of logic going on. The main reason I did this was just to prevent false alarms as much as possible. This shed is obviously a work shed. There's a lot of power tools, and thus a lot of sawdust is created. And for that, I've added this. This is an isolation switch, if it will focus. So what this does is if the alarm has gone off on one of the smoke detectors, you can use this button to reset it before 30 seconds. Also, if you push this normally in a normal condition, it will isolate these 4 smoke detectors in the main shed area. Instead of explaining it, let's just go ahead and put it on walk test now, and I'll kind of demonstrate how it works. So we'll start by walk testing a couple of the smoke detectors. We won't do them all because we'll be here all day, but we'll do a couple. We'll start with the one closest to the remote amplifier so you can see how that works. And we'll start that process now. This amplifier does take a while to trigger. It takes about 2 seconds for the module to activate. And there we go. Okay, so that's one. We'll just test one more on the other side. We'll test this one here. Sorry, it's a bit dark, but I can't turn my flashlight on. Any second. This is a slightly older detector. Okay, and finally, for the walk test side of things, we will test the linear heat cable. The linear heat cable does take quite a long time to activate. This will go straight into evacuation since it's a heat device. Any second. There we go. And you can see that's gone straight into evacuation.
Evacuate the building using the nearest fire exit. Evacuate the building using the nearest fire exit.
It takes a while to reset this. I think we might have to reset it manually.
Evacuate the building using the nearest fire exit. Evacuate the building.
There we go. That's reset. And finally, what we'll do is I'll show you the Type 5 functionality of this system here. So the reason there's a heat detector and smoke detection in the same area is because if this smoke zone is isolated, you still need some form of detection, and that's where the linear heat cable comes into play. Okay, the system should be reset now. No, it's still resetting. Does take quite a while. There we go, system normal. Okay, so we'll try triggering 2 of the smoke detectors within 30 seconds. Any second. There we go, that's one of them. Now we'll go over this side and trigger another one. Now we'll trigger this one. And as soon as this triggers, you'll see it should switch over to evac. There we go, now it should go over to evac.
Warning, the fire alarm system has operated.
There we go. Now it's an evac. And we'll reset. Actually, what we'll do is we'll use this button here. That should isolate it.
Evacuate the building using the nearest fire exit.
There we go. That's isolated it. You see it isolated one smoke detector after the other. Yeah. As you can see, the lights are still on, but the zone's isolated. Still on that one. So now we'll reset that isolation timer. You can see in the corner there, device isolated. What we'll do is we'll go back to the timer, enter timer 7 running, reset, acknowledge, and that should reset the detector. Yep, there we go. So I think the last thing we'll do is we'll just do a remote test. I don't have the key with me for this manual call point, so we'll do a remote test on this, and then we'll go over to the Mimic and make sure that the zone is correct. Let's do that. Okay. Let's go to more, test, fire. This is going to be quite a long video, but I hope you're sticking around and enjoying. Previous. We want a module. It's quite slow on this computer. Module. I think it's module 23, but we'll check that. Come on. It's playing up. Let's try that again. Test menu, fire, module, 22, 23. There it is, side entrance in zone 8. We'll test it, make sure the alarm works, and then we'll silence and go have a look at the Mimic. There we go, that worked. This should go straight into evac, and it does. We'll silence the alarms now, and go check the Mimic. Okay, there you go. So that's correct. Zone 8 shed, which is down there. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a bit of a longer one, but there was quite a bit to cover. I'll see you in the next video.